The Trail of Tears is remembered as one of the most bleak moments in American history. Thousands of Cherokee peoples were forced from their homelands in the 1930s, suffering immense loss of life, property, and dignity. But this tragedy was not just physical, it was a political attack on a sovereign nation that had used every legal path available to defend itself. In this video essay, we will specifically explore the thriving Cherokee society before removal and how their efforts to adopt U.S. political systems to delay removal were futile because of the fraudulent Treaty of Echeta, and how that set the stage for the eventual forced removal, which not only marked a profound political injustice, but also opened up a path for the brutal displacement and the eventual rebuilding of the Cherokee people and society. Before removal, the Cherokee Nation was thriving politically and culturally. They had a written constitution modeled partly on the U.S. system, a legal code, and an elected government headed by Principal Chief John Ross. Schools, churches, farms, and widespread literacy through Sequoia's syllabaries showed how organized and advanced the nation had become. These achievements represent decades of intentional work by Cherokee leaders who aim to protect their sovereignty by adapting to the changing U.S. policies. They blended traditions with innovation, making it clear how much was at stake when pressure for removal increased. Everything changed with the controversial Treaty of Echeta, signed not by Cherokee government, but by a small, unauthorized faction known as the Treaty Party. Principal Chief John Ross and the vast majority of Cherokee people rejected the treaty as illegitimate. In his 1836 protest letter to Congress, Ross warned, quote, "We are disposed of our private possessions, stripped of every attribute of freedom, and even our lives may be taken away." His activism included a petition signed by nearly 16,000 Cherokee citizens, making it one of the largest indigenous political protests in early U.S. history. Ross believed sovereignty rested with the people and not a handful of individuals acting in secret, but the U.S. government ignored these protests. This refusal exposed how political pressure and federal power undermined Cherokee democracy, deepening internal divisions and clearing the path for removal. When the removal began, the consequences were catastrophic. Around 16,000 Cherokees were forced from their homes, often with only minutes or hours to gather belongings. They were left behind farms, tools, livestock, sacred places, and graves of ancestors. The journey itself was deadly. Roughly 4,000 Cherokees died from disease, exposure, and starvation. The suffering is recorded not only from Cherokee families, but also U.S. soldiers who witnessed it firsthand. In his 1838 military journal, Lieutenant B.B. Cannon wrote, quote, "A child died last night. Many of the old and infirm are falling rapidly." End quote. According to the National Park Service, the Cherokee passed through a landscape that was unforgiving, making the journey not only physically dangerous, but spiritually devastating. A sovereign nation had been uprooted through the trauma of losing their homelands. Even in Indian Territory, the Cherokee began to rebuild. In 1839, they drafted a new constitution and reestablished their governments. Schools reopened, including the Cherokee male and female seminars, which helped preserve the syllabary and traditional stories. Cherokee community network became essential. Families share food, labor, and emotional support as they rebuilt. The Cherokee Nation was a thriving society before removal, with a sophisticated government and legal system sought to protect their sovereignty in face of expanding U.S. power. Despite their best efforts to adapt, the overwhelming pressure of the American expansion ultimately led to the Treaty of Echeta. This treaty not only opened up the door for a brutal and unjust removal process, but also shattered the political unity that dispersed their way of life. Even in exile, the Cherokee people demonstrated remarkable resilience and rebuilt their government, preserved their culture, and maintained their identity. proving that the destruction of their homeland could not erase who they were.